Hi, welcome to this week's Michigan Daily Sports Roundtable, where we discuss the pressing issues with sports over the weekend. I'm Scott Bell, I'll be your moderator. The rest of our panel, we have sophomore Courtney Rakowiak of our hockey beat. We have senior Daniel Bromwich, a football writer, and for men's basketball, we have fellow senior H. Jose Bosch. Where else to start this weekend besides football? Michigan nudged interstate rival Michigan State by 4 despite injury troubles with Chad Henne and Mike Hart. All season long, people have considered Mike Hart the team MVP, saying he's the most important player to the team, but with Chad Henne's 4-touchdown performance while playing injured, a lot of people are starting to second guess that. So I guess we'll start with Daniel. Who would you say is more important to the team down the stretch, Mike Hart or Chad Henne?
Well, I think they're both incredibly crucial to the team, obviously. If there was a co-MVP award, I think they would pretty clearly share it. But the difference is that the drop-off from Mike Hart to his backups, Carlos Brown and Brandon Minor, is much less significant than the drop-off from Chad Henne to Ryan Mallett. Ryan Mallett gets in the game, he fumbles, throws interceptions. It's not a way to win the game. Chad Henne's individually won 3 games for Michigan, Illinois, Northwestern, and now Michigan State. And I think he's much more important than Mike Hart. I can't believe I'm really saying that.
Does anyone want to fight for the Hart camp?
I'll fight. I think that because you're walking a fine line when you're relying on the long ball to win games for you. Michigan has done it extremely well since our time, since Braylon Edwards all the way up to now. But I think you're walking a fine line since Hart's the best at running the ball. I think Michigan really needs to have Hart in there. Aside from the fact that his charisma, his leadership is just second to none.
Yeah, I think we can both agree that, or we can all agree that Michigan fans would like to have both still around. So next we have hockey. Courtney may be a little jet lagged after just coming in from Nebraska, but the Michigan hockey team continued its winning streak, sweeping Nebraska Omaha this weekend. And most of the talk's coming from the improved play of goaltender Billy Sauer, who is nearly like an entire goal better with goals against average this year. So what do you think is the difference in Billy Sauer, and do you think it's going to be a permanent change?
Well, Scott, there are at least 2 major things that are different about Billy Sauer's play than last year. The first thing is that he's playing higher up in the crease this year. We did talk about it after the Saturday game against Nebraska, and he says that by playing higher up in the crease, it allows him to kind of see the shooters more, so that they're not coming right up to the crease, and then he has to make a save with them right up kind of in his face. And so that's definitely helped him. The second thing is he looks a lot more calm during games. I know that especially during his freshman year and at times last year, he was criticized for being inconsistent. But this year, with Michigan having 12 freshmen, him as a junior, he's really had to step up, even though he's not a senior, he's not a captain, alternate captain. And I think that definitely just him playing with all of these freshmen has kind of helped him be a little bit more poised in net, because he knows he has to be for the team to be successful. And then the other thing is, coming in, freshman Brian Hogan was highly recruited, and he was kind of expected to battle for the starting spot. He had mono within the first few weeks of the season, and he just started coming back to practice this week. So with Hogan out of the picture, Sauer's pretty much the undisputed starting goalie, and so I think that's also really helped his confidence, knowing that he doesn't have someone who's kind of going to step in if he has one bad game. So.
And then I guess finally, we're in early November, but basketball season's already started. It's only exhibition ball. Students around Michigan might have even missed it, but Michigan's exhibition season started Thursday with a huge win against Ferris State. But I guess we can't really make exhibition basketball jokes now that our little crosstown rival Michigan State just lost to Grand Valley State on Friday. So do you think people on campus should take exhibition more serious now that Michigan State's had their Appalachian State moment? Or
well, if you went to the game and interested in the thing, you would have looked on the Michigan sideline and be like, what's going on? Oh, Beeline was coaching. And that's something that you can be happy about, that he's going to be coaching. You kind of got to feel what the season's going to be like. It's not always going to be pretty. I mean, they had more turnovers and assists, which is a problem they had last year as well. But I think you're always going to see improvements in the little things. You're always going to see Beeline coaching these guys, and eventually things will be good. So I think you can take a lot from the exhibition game, and you can't just completely throw it out.
Daniel, having covered the team last year, do you think there was any emphasis at all put on the exhibition ball? Or?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the thing. I mean, last year mean, last year and years before, Coach Tommy Amker's teams always played well in exhibition games, always dominated these terrible teams that they were supposed to beat, and everyone's like, oh, we'll be all right this season. That never happened. So I agree with Jose that important things can be gleaned from the exhibition season, but it is the exhibition season. They were playing Ferris State, and that wouldn't take too much from it.
Does anyone know why Michigan State lost to Grand Valley? Or
Oh God, I know. But Tom Izzo didn't seem to be fazed about it. They interviewed him about it, and he said it's just an exhibition. So I mean, hey, they're not taking it too seriously, but what can you say?
well, this may have been our preseason or our first game of the Roundtable, but we'll wrap that up for today. Check back the Daily every Monday for our own edition of the Roundtable.